Hot ice, baby. June 27th. Myself, Smitty, Big Ev, Rico on the golf course hitting the links. Ev, we got some headlines. And I got a quick question for you right off the bat. I'm going to say 3 teams in Major League Baseball right now that are playing not so up to par. And you're going to tell me which one of these 3 teams, if any, can possibly make the playoffs. The New York Mets, dead, dogged, dickless. The San Diego Padres, underachieving, ample talent, below 500, just lost 2 to 3 of the Nationals. And the Seattle Mariners, 1 game below 500, supposed to have a big year after last year's surprise, making the playoffs for the first time this century. Which team has the possibility of turning it around, if any?
I've got to say probably, I mean, the easy answer's got to be the Padres, no? I mean, for that, and I guess I'll explain my reason. So the Mets, I think, are just lifeless. I don't know if they even have the talent. I think the big part is the talent plus the division's very good. Obviously, the Braves are unbelievable. Phillies are playing a lot better. The Marlins have been really good. So I think they're just in a tough spot there, let alone. I mean, listen, you definitely can say the same about the Padres a little bit. Like, obviously the Dodgers are so good. Obviously the Giants are on fire right now. And then the Mariners, I think the problem is you have the Rangers are playing very well. I think the Astros, I know they're not playing like their usual selves, but the Astros are going to be there when it matters. So I think I'm almost by default, I'm almost saying Padres just due to talent. Just because I think their talent is far and above the other two. And I think based on that, I think they have what it takes to get hot if they can put it all together and maybe make a wild card spot. So that's my answer.
I don't disagree with that reasoning. Until looking into it yesterday, before Verlander still couldn't give the Mets a win, I thought the Mets could maybe crawl their way into a wild card spot. They're now 8 games under 500. They're talentless. They're hopeless. They're dead. Like, KFC canceled them the other day, and I was like, it's a little premature cancel before the All-Star break. They don't have the arms. They don't have the bodies. They don't have the mojo that they had last year. They are dead. And if you want to kind of sell the farm a little bit and bring in players to get them up, I don't even know if that's going to help them. So they're dead in my mind. The Mariners, I think, out of the 3, are the best team overall. They might have the best talents. I think the Padres are the best talent, but I think the Mariners are the best team. The wild card situation for them to get in the playoffs is also FUBAR in the AL. I mean, they got to contend with the Orioles, with the Yankees, with the Blue Jays, with the Astros.
Yeah.
The Anaheim Angels are 43 and 37. They're only 5 games back of the Rangers.
I forgot to mention the Angels too. Yeah,
they got a lot to conquer. So, I mean, that's just might be too tough of a road to overcome, even though I think they are – I think they're a good team still. They just haven't turned it on like last year. But you're right with the Padres. If the Padres can somehow find a way to put it together even a little bit, they're 37 and 41. They're 9.5 back of the Diamondbacks. They got the Dodgers, the Giants, the Marlins, the Phillies ahead of them right now. They could put it together, but what's up with this team, man? They're virtually the same team as last year with Fernando Tatis and Bogarts. What the hell? If I was a Padres fan, if I was one of the 6 Padres fans in existence, I'd be furious right now. I really would.
It's one of those weird things where it's like all the guys they paid for, really, like none of them are hitting. Like super, like no one's. I remember Machado started scorching hot. He's been ice cold. He's batting like 250. I feel like they're all batting like 250.
Yep.
And batting 250 without a ton of power numbers behind it. You can live with 250 if they're mashing 25. Well, they got 20 home runs right now, 50 something RBIs. None of them have that. They're all batting like 250, 240, like 10 home runs, like 30 RBIs, like not horrible for like the average player, but for like $300 million guys, $250 million guys, not up to standard.
And I said it 2 years ago when they started getting all these guys there in San Diego. San Diego is the place where players go to Met. Sunshine on your tits 24/7. No real press up your ass. Tijuana is an hour away. Nobody cares. Like, why would you care? It's sunny. It's beautiful. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. There's no heart in that city. They saw it when they kicked the Chargers out of town. It's a tough place to win, solely for that reason. Like, why would you care? If you were Manny Machado making $400 million sitting in San Diego on the beach, would you care to go out and put the extra effort in to work on the tee when it's sunny outside? I don't know.
I do like the beach, Smitty. I enjoy the beach very much.
Beach is a good time. One more question before we get to the bets. Right here, right now, day of our Lord, June 27, 2023. If you had to pick 2 teams to be in the World Series tomorrow, who from the AL, who from the NL, right now?
In the AL, I people might not like this. I think the easy answer is the Rays. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say the Astros still. I think I favor teams that have that pedigree, that just come through in the playoff. That not only do they come through in the playoffs, they generally have a good rotation, good bullpen. When Alvarez is going to be back soon, when their lineups, I mean, they just hit in the playoffs. I mean, I just don't know how you could not pick the Astros, other than just being like, oh, the Rays are playing great, which they are. I'm sure they'll be there. They're going to be they're going to win the division. They're going to be in there. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're have a chance to go deep in the playoffs, but I just don't know how you can't pick the Astros with what they've done, considering they have pretty much the same core they've had.
That's a great answer.
In the NL,
it's almost like the Astros would have to miss the playoffs in order to not make the World Series.
Just not. Like they're not. They're not going.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a very strong last 2 months of the season, and then we're gonna look up and they're gonna be in the ALCS.
No, it's true. It's true.
And probably the World Series. The NL, I want to give you a cute answer, but I mean, it's so hard to pick against the Braves. I mean, they're just so well rounded. So I just Braves Astros rematch from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with either of them. I would change mine to the Rays solely because I think the Astros might miss injury or two here or there. They might miss a spot. They're not playing great ball right now. There's 6 games above 500. They're 5 games out of first. But your reasoning is correct with the Astros. If they're in, they'll be the last wild card spot, and they'll still won't lose a game until the World Series. That's just the way they are. And NL, you're just an idiot if you go against the Braves right now. They just win every night. They're the anti-Mets. They find a way to win every fucking night. I mean, Christ, the Reds won 11 in a row and came back on them for their 12th, and they still go and win the next 2 games in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable what the Braves do. But the Braves are kind of the anti-Astros. Other than 2 years ago, they make it to the playoffs, and can they get it done?
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, it's fair. God, they're just so good. There's a team right now. It's hard to the NL right now is great because they have a lot of I think there's a lot of up and coming teams in the NL. You have we just saw the Reds are on the come up. The Diamondbacks are big time on the come up. A lot of the bad teams, they're at least even we've seen listen, the Pirates I think stink, but they're getting better. There's a lot of teams that are getting a little bit better and are making strides to be contenders. But the Giants obviously look good, but I just don't know if those teams are going to be able to contend they're not ready to take that like next step. They've taken a big step, but there's still another big step being made to compete with like the big dogs.
And same thing with the AL. Like, I love the Orioles as a team. Do you trust them in the playoffs? Being young, not really been there before. Same thing kind of with the Rangers. Like, haven't been there before. It's tough to trust the team that just hasn't been there before. And even the Phillies last year haven't been there in 11 years, was hot into the World Series, and then the wheels just completely fell off compared to a team like the Astros that's there every year, keep grinding. Even though the trash cans are banging, they find a way to pull it off. Dog of the day, Ev. I saw your pick Central card, so I think we might be thinking along the same lines here. But go ahead. What do you got?
I'm going with the Pirates. I'm going with the Pirates today. It's one of those like even though I just kind of gave them some that I think they could go. The Padres are just they're just not. There's not who we thought they were going to be. We'll see what happens second half of the season. Rich Hill's been like very weird this year. Like he's I feel like he's been very like he's had some like really like good starts and some really bad ones. I'm looking for old what was I going to say? Long Island Duck, Rich Hill. Get a couple of ground balls here today. Not the biggest strikeout guy. Let him put it in play. Let the fielders do the job. Plus 160. I think it's a good number. At home, yeah. Give me the Pirates.
It's plus 155 now, and I agree with you. I'm going with the Pirates too. One of my favorite stats from this year was when Rich Hill was playing the Tigers, and you ended up shutting him out. 90-year-old Rich Hill was Rich Hill first faced Miguel Cabrera and struck him out in 2003. It's like
literally 20 years.
Yeah. And they're both still playing. But this isn't a paper game for me. Not at all. This is a vibe check. And we said San Diego is a place where players go to Met because you love the beach. People really don't care. They just lost 2 or 3 at home to the Nationals. 2-game losing streak. They flew to Pittsburgh. Had an off day yesterday in Pittsburgh. And now you're telling me you're going to get right in a cool, rainy day against slop pitcher Rich Hill throwing 30-mile-an-hour sweepers just barely outside the zone? No, you ain't getting right in the Steel City that way. You might win tomorrow. You might win the next day. Today, it's a Pirates game. Padres are still in San Diego. So I like that pick a lot. Best bet. Big Ev, what do you got?
All right, so we're going with an over here. I love the over in the Marlins Red Sox. Alcantara, I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, it's crazy how it hasn't really mattered because the other pitchers have been so good, but Alcantara's sporting an ERA +5, crazy. Tanner Hook's been very, very, very hittable. The Red Sox have been a big time overs team. Marlins lineup's been much, much better this year. It's over 9.5 with this pitching matchup. At least what they've been this year. I'll take over 9.5 Marlins Red Sox.
Don't hate it. I'm going with the 8.5 under Cubs Phillies. Now, while I'm doing that, Ranger Suarez's innings prop is not out yet. I would go like 17.5 over Ranger Suarez because his last 4 starts have been deadly. 6 2/3 against the Mets, 2 runs, 7 innings against the Nationals, 1 run, 6 innings at home against the Dodgers, 1 run last start in Arizona, 7 innings, 4 hits, 7 Ks, no runs. Ranger Suarez has found his big nutsack. He's the Lone Ranger. He's ready to roll. He's going to go 7 deep, 1 run tonight per usual. It's just a question of the Phillies going to be able to hit. I don't trust that. Yeah, Talion on the mound. He hasn't been bad for the Cubs this year. The Phillies knocked him around earlier this year. But even so, I don't see any team putting above 4 today, which means under 8.5. Best bet.
I like it. Sold me.
There you go. That's all you need. That's all you need is the pitch.
That's all I had to hear.
All you need is the pitch. Hit parade. What are you guys looking at today?
It's I believe it is. Simeon's been my guy. I've been riding the Marcus Semien train. He's been hot. Leadoff home run last night. We didn't cash, unfortunately, but we're back. It's Semien. Someone put in, I want to say Ellie De La Cruz, and I cannot remember the third person, but it'll be out in the next hour or so, 2 hours. Price will be posted and tweeting it. So everyone watching, appreciate you. Look out for it. Play it, Barstool Sports exclusive. I'd imagine the plus like 200-ish range probably.
All right. That's the hit parade. This is Hot Ice. Probably should be called the hit parade. We'll see you at Pick Central. Rolling up next. Brandon Walker has left the chat, by the way. No goodbye. He just left the chat. That's hot ice.